Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G-Lord33. I want to welcome you guys back here to another episode of the Legit Suit Podcast, here with your Monday Night Raw review and results for February 15th, 2021. Hopefully you guys are staying safe and healthy. I know up here the weather has been crazy in the Boston area, man. We just had right now if you go outside, it's legit an ice arena. We're playing the NHL. The roads were so icy when I had to go to work. Man, it took me forever just to get on my driveway because I was slipping and sliding everywhere. And then we have snow coming on top of that. So that's just a normal day in the life for a New England resident at this time of the year. And I know you guys are going to be seeing this Raw review probably sometime Tuesday afternoon, right? Because there has been some power outages. Right now, actually, I don't have any internet. I'm, using my phone and the data on it just to have my notes all loaded up. So as soon as we get the internet fixed, I'll be able to upload this right away. So you guys should be seeing this by Tuesday afternoon, maybe Tuesday evening. But I have learned that it doesn't really matter how late I post a review because you guys always come through with the support no matter what. And I appreciate and love you guys for everything. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason why I do this. Right? And without you guys, I would not be where I'm at right now. So thank you guys for the love and support, man, and thank you guys for your understanding. I miss doing live streams. I know of it, but eventually we will be back to doing live streams, man. But for right now, just bear with me, and we'll get through this. All right? I hate YouTube's copyright system for putting us in this situation, but at least we're still able to upload, right? But either way, man, yes, we're going to be reviewing Raw. And I'm a broken record at this point. Monday Night Raw last night was terrible. It was not a good show. It was the go-home show to the Elimination Chamber. So some of you guys may not even realize that we actually have a pay-per-view this Sunday, right? I know we still had the Royal Rumble, which was just like 2-3 weeks ago, but hey, man, we actually have a pay-per-view. I told you guys, man, there was about 6 weeks between TLC and the Royal Rumble, right? Which is very long because usually a typical WWE pay-per-view build is about 3 weeks, 4 max. So 6 weeks is really long. So the fact that we're getting a quick turnaround here with the Elimination Chamber is no surprise by WWE standards. You guys know I've said this before. WWE has way too many pay-per-views anyway, right? If it was up to me, I would only have at most, I would have about maybe 7-8 pay-per-views max, right? And if anything, you should only have really like 5 pay-per-views a year. But knowing WWE, I would say for them, especially with the amount of talent they have, I would have about 7 to 8 pay-per-views. I would have the big 4, right? Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, right? And then you have Money in the Bank in there, and then you have maybe 2 or 3 other ones, I'm not a big fan of these gimmick pay-per-views. I love the Elimination Chamber, right? But, I'm not a big fan of these gimmick pay-per-views because WWE always has rush booking, and the Elimination Chamber build has not been good. If you guys checked out the SmackDown review, if you guys haven't already, make sure to check it out after this video. But if you guys saw the Elimination Chamber review, or not the Elimination Chamber review, the SmackDown review from last week, I complained about how they booked the Elimination Chamber match, right? How that match should have been to determine Roman Reigns' opponent at WrestleMania for the Universal Championship, right? Instead, they're doing it that the winner of the Elimination Chamber match gets to face Roman for the title, not at Fastlane, which is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, not at WrestleMania, which should be what this chamber match should be setting, right? They actually face Roman that same exact night, which I find absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense for them to have a title match the same night, especially when you're going through a 40, sometimes 50-minute chamber match. You're going to be already wore out, whoever wins that match, no matter if you start the match number 1 or if you get the last chamber spot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to go up against a 100% fresh Roman Reigns. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense, right? Roman Reigns is not losing that title anyway. So why not just do the match at Fastlane, right? What's the rush to get the match done right there and there? You're already making us look stupid by having Bianca Belair and Edge hold people hostage with their WrestleMania decisions. They should have already made their decisions by now. What's this that we have to wait a month, for them to make a decision on who they're going to face at Mania, right? I remember when Seth Rollins won the Royal Rumble a couple years back. I think it was 2019, right? He made his decision the next night. It's usually doesn't take more than a week for someone to make their decision. What's this garbage that we gotta wait 2-3 weeks? We gotta wait till the next pay-per-view to make our decision for who we're gonna face at WrestleMania. What sense does that make? And you see, well, now you can see how WWE making these dumbass booking decisions, how it's ruining the road to WrestleMania. Because you've already have the dirt sheet reports reporting that Edge is going to face Roman Reigns, right? And that's what we're all expecting. Even though that match should not be taking place, it should be Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. That should be the match. But instead, you want to give us Edge versus Roman Reigns, where it's been reported that WWE doesn't even have a winner for the match decided. So what sense does that make? And then after that, right? Now, you had this stupid gauntlet match last night on Monday Night Raw to determine who would be the last person coming out of the chamber. And the thing about it is, right, you made it look stupid because you had your WWE champion get pinned. I don't care if he was the MVP of the gauntlet match. McIntyre had a fantastic showing. And we know McIntyre is great. We don't need to establish that, right? Who did he beat in the gauntlet match? He beat Styles, he beat Hardy, he beat Orton, and then almost beat Sheamus. But it doesn't matter. Your WWE champion should not be getting pinned. You guys know this. I say it all the time. Your champion should not be getting pinned unless it's at the pay-per-view and he's actually losing his title. It's that simple. It's that simple. Right? You basically gave us the Sheamus versus McIntyre match last night. And the rumors have it that could be the match for the title at WrestleMania. And the thing about it is, none of us want to see it. Why would we want to see it? That's not a WrestleMania match worthy. I've said this multiple times. And the thing about it is, you gave us a match last night in the Gauntlet match. That match was like the last 10 minutes of the show. Do you expect Sheamus and McIntyre to do anything different at a pay-per-view or at a WrestleMania nonetheless? No. So what? I'm going to give you guys a prediction right now because I don't even know if I'm going to make an Elimination Chamber preview predictions video. Probably not. So I'm going to give you guys a prediction right now. Sheamus is the odds-on favorite now because he's going to be the last man to come out of the Chamber match. I'm telling you right now, my prediction is I think Sheamus is going to win the WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. That's what I think is going to happen. And then what's going to happen after that is they're going to have Drew McIntyre regain the WWE Championship at WrestleMania against Sheamus. Right? Because really, this whole best friend storyline, I'm not into it. It doesn't have the same flavor that Sasha Banks and Bayley did last summer. It doesn't. All right? Because we haven't really been that invested into Sheamus and McIntyre. So what I think WWE's going to do here, they're going to have Sheamus win the title at the Elimination Chamber, and then they're going to have McIntyre versus Sheamus at Mania. That's where McIntyre's going to get his revenge, and they're also going to try to give McIntyre that big moment in front of fans that he got robbed of because of the pandemic last year. Because remember, WrestleMania was inside the Performance Center with no fans, and I feel like WWE owes McIntyre that big moment. Right? And we all know McIntyre is one of WWE's top baby faces. Like him or not, you can't dispute the fact that he's not a top baby face. That's what I think WWE's going to do it. And they went about it the wrong way. There are so many issues here. So many issues. McIntyre should not be getting pinned. Why are you giving me Sheamus versus McIntyre before Mania? I already have a problem with Sheamus versus McIntyre happening at Mania because I don't really see it as a Mania match to begin with. Now you're giving me the match on a pointless gauntlet match on free TV, right? Because WWE doesn't believe in anything special anymore. There's nothing special in the company anymore, right? Let's just give away every big match, every pay-per-view level match before the pay-per-view. And then on top of that, let's give you guys the match again the night after the pay-per-view because you just saw it the night on pay-per-view. So WWE has the mindset that they want you to watch it again. This is the way WWE thinks. The thing about it is, I call this stuff because I know this business. I understand it. If you guys saw the SmackDown review, what did I say? I said, I'm willing to bet you next week on SmackDown, they're going to book a 6-man tag between Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro versus Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and who's the last heel in the Chamber match? Who's the last heel? I don't remember. Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Jey Uso. I legit said on SmackDown, that's what they're going to do. Because they're not going to do another gauntlet match like they did on Monday Night Raw. The only reason why they did the gauntlet match on Raw is because Raw's 3 hours. And do you know how uncreative WWE is? So they're like, oh yeah, let's just do a gauntlet match to fill in 1 hour of our terrible show. All right? And then on SmackDown, right, we're going to give you a 6-man tag. The baby faces versus the heel. We got 3 baby faces, 3 heels, 6-man tag. Teddy Long, 101. This company is so easy to read. I can do it like the back of my hand. It's absolutely mind-blowing how obvious this company makes, everything look. It truly is. It truly is, man. And like I said, Sheamus is probably going to win the WWE Championship. I'm predicting right now. Don't be surprised. Just so McIntyre can get that big moment at Mania. And then after that, Miz will probably cash in. That's my prediction right now. All of this could have been avoided. All this terrible booking. Like, for example, another thing that I have a problem with. Kofi Kingston being in the Elimination Chamber match. Kofi Mania 2.0. Why was he in the Chamber match to begin with? I ranted about this last week. Why in the world is The Miz in the Elimination Chamber match when he's Mr. Money in the Bank? Why does he need to be in that match? He can get a free title match whenever he wants. So why would he put him in the Chamber match? Why would he want to go through that hell? You guys know I don't give a crap about The Miz anyway. But from a storyline and logic standpoint, why is Miz in there to begin with? All right, and then tonight, the first Mega Monday Night Raw tonight, Miz announces he's not in the Chamber match no more, right? And then Kofi gets put in after beating Miz in a match later on in the evening. Why was Kofi in there to begin with? Kofi's done more than Miz and Jeff Hardy combined to be in that Chamber match. If you look at it, right? If you look at those former WWE champions, right? You look at their reigns, all their last reigns of world champions. Sheamus was champion back, 2015? 2015 was the last time Sheamus was champion, right? And his reign is kind of forgettable because he lost the title, I think, the Roman Reigns like 3 weeks later. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was last champion, close to a decade and a half ago, back in 2008, I believe. No one remembers that reign, unless you're a livid Jeff Hardy fan. It was a big moment back then, but nobody remembers that, and nobody really cares about that in 2021. He's done nothing to deserve to be in that Chamber match. Orton's last WWE Championship reign was forgettable because he lost the title 2 weeks later to McIntyre, right? The only 3 people that have actually had credible championship reigns in the last couple years that are in that match are McIntyre, Styles, and Kofi Kingston. Styles had a great championship reign, even though it was a couple years ago, but he had a great 1-year reign. Remember when he was a babyface on SmackDown, right? Kofi had a really good reign as WWE champion. I feel like that is a very underrated reign, just because, Kofi was never booked as that main event star, even though we all know he is one of those, right? But he had a great reign. Remember, he had some really great matches with Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton. He had a really good reign as champion. And then, they messed it up when they had him lose to Brock Lesnar in 8 seconds, which is a slap in the face. They should have never done that. I hate how Kofi got treated. But Kofi had a really good reign as WWE champion a couple years back. And McIntyre, you guys, we're still seeing McIntyre's in his second reign as champion right now, and he's been pretty good. Even though WWE has made some, mistakes with him over the last year, but for the most part, he's been a really good WWE champion. Those are the only 3 that I can look, and when I look at former WWE champions, I agree that they deserve to be in that Chamber match. Kofi should have been in that Chamber match to begin with. Miz and Jeff Hardy have no business being in that Chamber match, right? I complained about this also last week. That spot could have been given to, Keith Lee or Matt Riddle. I know that Keith Lee and Matt Riddle are going to be facing Lashley for the U.S. title, but, I'm just being honest here. Bobby Lashley deserves more to be in that Chamber match than Jeff Hardy and The Miz. Like, if it was up to me making the chamber match, I would have made the chamber match McIntyre, Styles, Kingston, Keith Lee, Bobby Lashley, and then either Matt Riddle or Randy Orton. Just take your pick, right? It doesn't really matter. But that's the way I would have done it. I don't know why WWE goes on with this stupid line of thinking, right? Oh, let's do a chamber match with former WWE champions, people who have done nothing in recent months, right? In recent times on WWE TV, people who've done nothing to deserve an opportunity of being the WWE champion. Let's just put it in there because they were former champions, right? And then let's just go back on our booking the next week. Let's just mess it all up. The logic guys here with this show, man. The Gauntlet match making no sense. The Elimination Chamber match participants are just absolutely awful because they've done nothing to deserve those spots. This build for the show has been atrocious. And it's all because WWE refused to do the right thing and have Edge face McIntyre for the WWE title. WWE and Vince McMahon are so horny that they had to give you Edge versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title at Mania. And I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care. I love Edge. I love Roman. This is not the right time for that match. There is still time to fix this because Edge hasn't made his decision. There is still time. Have Edge face Have Edge face McIntyre for the WWE Championship at Mania. Fix this mess, please. They're probably not. Right, they're probably not. They're probably already 99.9% sure they're going to do Edge versus Roman. But somebody, please, fix this mess. Because the shows have been terrible. The Elimination Chamber build is absolutely awful. Only reason why we're covering it is because that's what we do. It has been atrocious. And I have zero excitement. Zero excitement, really, for this show on Sunday. The matches will be good just because the superstars involved. Right? But I have no excitement for the Elimination Chamber this Sunday. So, there you have it. There's your little opening shoot to get us into the podcast tonight. So went on a nice little rant there on how Monday Night Raw and WWE specifically have messed up with the Elimination Chamber build for both chamber matches. All right. But, we're going to get into that a little bit more as we go through the show tonight. As always, thank you guys so very much for joining me on the podcast. Make sure to follow me down on Twitter, social media. The link is in the description down below. If you guys are new to the channel, as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell right next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. If you guys haven't checked out the SmackDown review yet, it is live on the channel, right? We talked about the Roman Reigns situation and what's happening with the Universal title. We also talked about are they, setting up the Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair feud, which we are expecting going to WrestleMania? Are they setting that up the same way they did John Cena and HBK Shawn Michaels back in 2007 with WrestleMania 23? So definitely make sure to go check that all out. That is live on the channel right now. Quick announcement, of course. This weekend we have a SmackDown review like we always do, probably Saturday night. And then Sunday, the Elimination Chamber. I won't be able to go live, of course. All right. I'm either going to have the Elimination Chamber review up Sunday night or it'll be up very, very, very early Monday morning. It'll be one of those two things. All right. I'm going to figure it out. It's going to take me, we'll have to see how the Elimination Chamber show goes, if it's a good show or not. Because if it's a bad show, that means I'm probably going to rant and the podcast will be longer. If it's a good show, then the less I have to rant about. But we also got to talk about WrestleMania and all that other stuff. So we'll see. So make sure you guys follow me on social media. That's when you guys will know when my reviews are going live. All that other good stuff. All right. But with that, let's get into Monday Night Raw tonight. And I know some of you guys want me to talk about Lacey Evans. We'll get to that. All right. So let's get into the show. Alrighty. So Raw started off tonight last night, mind you. The show started off with Miz TV with Drew McIntyre being the special guest. You guys know I don't give a crap whenever Miz TV is on. You guys know I don't care about the Miz in 2021. He is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. He's the same thing. It's the same character. That's another problem I have with this company. Their characters don't evolve. One of the great things about what they did with Daniel Bryan a couple of years ago, when he was, when they turned him heel, at first it was weird, right? Because you were expecting, why would Daniel Bryan ever turn heel? He was one of the most over baby faces in the company, right? One of the things that was great is when he turned heel, his character completely changed. He completely changed his gimmick. He went from the Yes Movement to the Planet's Champion with Eric Rowan, and it was great. And then eventually, they did a whole storyline to turn him back into a babyface later on in the year, which was great. Some of these characters, man. And my boy Anthony was talking to me about this in terms of Randy Orton. Some of these characters just stayed the same forever, and they just drag on. Like The Miz, he's been the same character now for the past decade. Wears this fancy suits, right? Great on the mic, terrible in the ring, or vanilla, right? Does nothing special in the ring, and he's been that guy for 10 years. There's been no change in his character. I don't care if he's turned babyface a couple times here and there. He's always been the same annoying character. And it's just like, I don't care how many, great speeches you give. There comes a point where I'm going to get sick and tired of you, right? That's the thing that happened with John Cena. A lot of people had the John Cena fatigue. And then John Cena turned part-time, right? And now every time Cena comes back to WWE, people are excited because they miss him. They miss him. Like with these superstars, man, they stay the same for so long. You just get fatigued with them. It's crazy. It's one of the reasons why I love what Alexa Bliss is doing right now. It's a complete change from the characters she was doing before, and she's doing the best work of her career because of it. Man, like The Miz, man, it just pisses me off. So, Miz introduces McIntyre, right, and basically, McIntyre, is sitting there, and every time McIntyre would go to respond to one of Miz's questions, Miz would actually just keep talking. So McIntyre could never get a word in. So he started calling McIntyre Andrew, or Andy. So, McIntyre's real name, right? And basically, Miz then said the reason why John Morrison was on the show tonight was because he was making a diss track about Bad Bunny. This Bad Bunny crap is so bad. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on it. All right. Then Miz goes on about Sheamus' betrayal on McIntyre, talk about the Gauntlet match for later in the show, then talk about the Elimination Chamber. Eventually, McIntyre got sick and tired of it, and McIntyre said, "Shut the hell up. I'm going to talk, and if you interrupt me, you're not going to like what I do to you next." Miz talked right away, and then after that, McIntyre hit him with a headbutt. Miz dropped out, and then that's what happened. So then Miz starts going on a huge ramble, and then he starts talking, right? And then he said that he was pulling himself out of the Elimination Chamber match, right? And then Miz called out Edge, because remember, Edge cut that fantastic promo on him last week. And Miz was like, "Oh, I'm the one that's really playing chess," or whatever the line was. I don't give a crap what Miz says. Miz has said, "Oh, I'm the one pulling myself out of the Elimination Chamber since he has a guaranteed Money in the Bank title shot anyway," right? And that would basically become one of the storylines on the show later on. Look, I don't care about the Miz at all. I just want him to lose the Money in the Bank briefcase. Please, man. It's so annoying because it's the only thing that's keeping this guy relevant, really. And they legit shove it down your throats every single week with Miz TV or whatever they have the Miz do. It's annoying. And I understand he's a heel, but legit, they are really making me not care about Money in the Bank anymore. Because they've shoved this storyline down your throat, and they've done so bad with the Money in the Bank this year. So bad, from Otis to the Miz. I can't take it. Really. If you're going to have Miz cash in, just have him cash in already. Right? If you're going to have him become WWE champion, just do it. I'd rather you just do it. As bad as it would be, just do it and get it over with. Because I'm so tired of hearing him each week shove it down your throats. I don't care how good a promo the Miz is. Please just shut the hell up and just cash in already. It's like, remember, May is when we have the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and we're gonna have to have new Money in the Banks, and hopefully that we can, undo the horrific wrongs that they've done with the Money in the Bank this year, or in the last 365 days. Really, If you're going to have him cash in at the Chamber, just have him do it. If you're going to have him do it at Fastlane, do it. If you're going to have him cash in at Mania on McIntyre or Sheamus, just do it. Stop. Stop with this nonsense. It's not good TV. It's not good storyline. I'm not investing into it. I just want it to end. We were so happy when it ended, when it looked like it ended at TLC, and they decided to drag it on. I don't know why. I don't know what was in their heads, what was in their lines of thinking, this is actually good, right? People actually care about the Miz's Mr. Money in the Bank. We don't. It's dumb. You're doing a disservice to what the Money in the Bank is actually supposed to represent. Stop it, please. If you're going to have him cash in, just do it. Enough with the teases. Enough with, I'm trying to play chess. If you're going to cash in, just get it over with so we can move on with our lives. So the Miz can move on to whatever you have planned with him. I don't know. But stop. Because it seems like you don't have any intentions of making him WWE champion. And you're just dragging it on because you have nothing better to do. Really. Just stop with this crap already. Just stop. All right? Anyway, so Miz cuts the promo. He would later go on to Adam Pearce and ask Adam Pearce, if John Morrison could be the guy to take his spot in the Elimination Chamber. Adam Pearce said he would take it under advisement. And then later in the night, Kofi Kingston confronted Adam Pearce. And Kofi was kind of already a little bit hot because he was like, I'm a former WWE champion, and I wasn't put in the chamber match. And the thing is, like I already told you guys, Kofi is way more deserving than The Miz or Jeff Hardy. Kofi Kingston's done way more in the last calendar year to deserve being in there. And the story writes itself. The Elimination Chamber match was where Kofi Mania was born a couple years ago. Kofi Mania was arguably the best storyline on the road to WrestleMania 2 years ago, right? I know some people say, the woman main eventing with Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte. No, that storyline was actually garbage. It should have been Becky versus Ronda in a one-on-one. Charlotte should have never been involved in that. Asuka should have never lost her title, right? The best storyline in that year's WrestleMania was Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. You had Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, which was kind of, obvious. Everyone knew Seth was going to win, right? So this is the storyline of Kofi being a black superstar, right? His 10-year journey to being a WWE champion and being in the main event, right? All that stuff. All that stuff that was made because of a mistake, because Mustafa Ali got injured. It was a great storyline. So Kofi Mania 2.0, the story writes itself. And yes, Kofi may not become WWE champion at WrestleMania. It's not in the cards or anything, but it should have at least been on WWE's minds. Like, let's try to capitalize on Kofi Mania 2.0. The story is there. The story writes itself. The Elimination Chamber, which started Kofi's journey a couple years ago. Like, why didn't nobody think of this beforehand? It mind boggles me, man. How there's creative people that get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to come up with these storylines, and I just sit here in my house, just able to book this stuff better than the people who get paid to do it. It makes no sense to me. No sense. It mind boggles me, man. But that's the thing here, right? So Kofi Mania 2.0. So Kofi versus The Miz would take place later on in the show. And Kofi won the match. It was a good match, actually, right? Not to give Miz any credit, right? But the match wasn't good. I know him and Kofi have good chemistry. They faced off thousands of times before. So this was it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't, anything special, but it was, outside the Gauntlet match, it was probably the best match on the show. So Kofi got the win with the Trouble in Paradise, and he would be in... He would be the final entry to replace The Miz inside the Elimination Chamber, right? And if anything, I would have Kofi be one of the last man standing in that match, right? I could definitely see the last two probably being Sheamus and McIntyre just because of the storyline. But I would have Kofi, if it was me, I would have Kofi start off as the first person in that chamber match, right? And have him go all the way to being in the final three, maybe even the final two, right? Maybe Sheamus eliminates McIntyre and something like that, right? Because right now my prediction is Sheamus will be the one that wins the match. Maybe you have Sheamus eliminate McIntyre, like, shocking elimination. McIntyre gets eliminated, guaranteeing us a new WWE champion. And then after that, right, you have the final two be Sheamus and Kofi. Give everybody that tease that Kofi could, recreate the magic from a couple years back. Kofi Mania 2.0. And then you have Kofi, lose to Sheamus. Sheamus hits a bro kick on Kofi. Sheamus becomes WWE champion. I think that would be very, very interesting. I think WWE, if anybody from the company was listening to this, man, I think they should highly consider doing that. All right? But what do I know, right? So Kofi's the last man in the Elimination Chamber match. He would also be the first person in tonight's Gauntlet match, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. So, for our first official match of the night, excuse me. If you think about it, there was actually not a lot on tonight's show. It was mainly just because the Gauntlet match took up so much time. We had a 6-man tag with Matt Riddle teaming up with the Lucha House Party to face the Hurt Business, MVP, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin. Another thing here, I don't think Keith Lee was on the show at all. I do know that Keith Lee recently got engaged to Mia Yim, right? So congratulations to them, right? But I don't think Keith Lee was on the show at all. Like, I don't even think he was in a backstage promo, right? So I felt that a little bit weird, especially knowing that Keith Lee's going to be in a title match this Sunday when he's in the triple threat with Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle for the U.S. Championship, right? We had the 6-man tag. Not gonna lie, I wasn't paying attention to this at all. I was actually just, flipping back and forth with Thor Ragnarok, which was being played on TNT, So, that tells you how much I cared about this. So, basically, Riddle won the match. He hit MVP with the jumping bro, the jumping knee strike. Then he did the floating bro and then got the win. After the match, Lashley comes out. They do this every single week. I love Lashley. It's repetitive, right? Whenever Lashley's not in a match, they seem to have him come out after the match, right, to put out his dominance. So Lashley comes out, right? He attacks Lucha House Party, and then he puts Riddle in the Hurt Lock for like the 1,500th time. It's like Riddle gets put in that Hurt Lock every single time. And actually it looks like it really hurts. Like, I don't think Lashley's holding back when he does the Hurt Lock, right? So the Hurt Business stands tall even in defeat. So Lashley continues to look dominant going into this Sunday, right? So I still have hope that maybe we could get Lashley versus Lesnar at Mania. I know it's looking unlikely right now. Honestly, I don't know what you do with Lashley at Mania if, they don't do the Lesnar match. I don't know what you do with him, right? I was thinking maybe you have Keith Lee win the title, or do you have that Keith Lee title change happen at Mania? I don't know what you do right now. Lashley's been super dominant, and he deserves, the biggest spotlight possible at Mania, but I don't know what you give to him. I don't. I don't even know what happens this Sunday. Like, part of me wants to see Keith Lee win and get his first main roster championship, but Lashley's been so dominant, it kind of makes sense for him to enter WrestleMania as the United States champion. And if you do Lesnar, someone pointed this out to me earlier this week. If you do Lesnar, right? If you do Lesnar, you could do that to have it be a non-title match. You can still have Lashley as champion, right? Because there's no Lesnar doesn't need the U.S. Championship. But I don't know what you do with the U.S. Championship right now. We'll just have to wait and see how it all unfolds, right? But Lashley continues to look absolutely dominant. Absolutely dominant. Next up, this Bad Bunny won the 24/7 title, right? Backstage, Akira Tozawa pinned R-Truth to win the 24/7 title, but then Damian Priest took Akira Tozawa and sent him headfirst into one of the crates. It actually looked like it hurt, unless Akira Tozawa is just the best seller in the world. Like, it looked like Priest legit folded this dude into the crate. Like, the way his head just bounced off, I was a little bit scared there. But Bad Bunny pinned Tozawa to win the 24/7 title, And that was that. You guys know I don't care about this at all. I don't know why Bad Bunny's even on TV, honestly. And if Bad Bunny gets a match at WrestleMania, it's disrespectful to everybody in that company that, works their ass off 24/7. It's already bad enough that part-timers take up like 40% of the WrestleMania card. Now if you have celebrities doing that, right? This isn't like 2008 with Floyd Mayweather, right? It's just frustrating. All right. Anyway, so Bad Bunny, new 24/7 title or champion. You guys know it's it's a joke. All right. Like I said, it's a joke. I don't really know what else to say that. I don't care. R-Truth will probably pin Bad Bunny while he's in the recording studio or something like that, right, to get the title back. But who cares? Right? I'm hearing rumors right now that they're thinking like Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus Miz and Morrison at Mania. If that does happen, it should be on the pre-show. I don't care. I don't want to see it on night 1. I don't want to see it on night 2. That should be on the pre-show. It doesn't belong in a WrestleMania card. This, like I said, it's not 2008 with like Floyd Mayweather or Donald Trump in like 2006, 2007. Like, it doesn't belong on the card at any point. It doesn't belong in the WrestleMania card. I'm sorry. Why? I'm not watching that. I don't care if he does a 450. I'm not watching that. All right? It's disrespectful to everybody else in that company. Especially when you have 2 nights of WrestleMania. You should be focused on making the best card possible. Not trying to, get your ratings up with celebrities. And we get the ratings every single week. Bad Bunny has done nothing to elevate the Raw ratings. Nothing. So stop wasting our time. Anyway, next up we had a tag team match. Charlotte and Asuka versus Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. Once again, Asuka continues to be an afterthought as the Raw Women's Champion. I'm a broken record. I've been saying this now for about, I think, 14 straight Raw reviews at this point. It's sad. And remember, right now, Asuka is supposed to be facing Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's Championship at the Elimination Chamber. But after tonight, I don't think that's happening anymore, all right? And this caused a lot of conversation on social media. Let's get into why. So basically, Asuka and Charlotte come out, right? And of course, who's texting me? Anyway, like I said, Lacey Evans comes out with Ric Flair and Peyton by her side. All right, and after that, as she comes out, what did Lacey Evans say? Evans kind of like it was nothing special. It was a dumb promo talking about how she's gonna take the Raw Women's Championship from Asuka and how Charlotte needs to stay away. Blah blah blah. It was nothing special here. That's the stupid stuff. And like I said, Ric Flair. I say this every week now. Ric Flair, get his old ass off TV. Like I said, with every week you continue to trot him out there like he's going to bring up the ratings or he's going to bring some kind of interest or he's going to do something important, right? The show just gets worse and worse and worse. You are destroying this guy's legacy the more he continues to appear on TV. It's sad. It's sad. Out of everything that happened here, Asuka means nothing as the Raw Women's Championship, as the Raw Women's Champion. Peyton Royce is like an afterthought. Right? And it's just Charlotte, you guys know I don't give a crap about her to begin with. And Lacey Evans, don't get me started on her. And we're about to get into like why the Raw Women's division has been absolutely destroyed. So let's get into this horrific thing. So, all right, about halfway through the match, right? So Charlotte's just beating the hell out of Peyton Royce, and all of a sudden Peyton Royce tags Lacey Evans in, and Charlotte's like, "Let's go." Of course, per storyline, Charlotte wants to beat the hell out of Lacey Evans for everything she's done these last couple months, right? But all of a sudden, Lacey hops off the apron. So at first you're thinking, oh, is Lacey just trying to be like a cowardly heel? Like, what's the deal? What's going on here? So Lacey hops off the apron. She grabs the microphones and she says that Flair wouldn't put her hands on her. I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And then she announces, oh my gosh, she announces that she's pregnant. She announces that she is pregnant. Right, so there's no finish to the match, right? So it's not. The referee never made an announcement if there was like a disqualification or a count out, right? There's just no finish to the match, right? Charlotte's sitting there in disbelief, like everybody else on everybody else watching at home. One of the only times I actually agree with Charlotte Flair, right? So I was like Charlotte Flair in that situation. So I'm sitting there like, wait, what? Like, wait. What? What are we doing here? This has already been a stupid soap opera storyline, right? But this just like, whoa. And I'm on social media, I'm on Twitter, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what? And everybody has the same reaction, like, huh? Yeah, and then you have Ric Flair wooing, doing his stupid little dance. Like I said, they're destroying Ric Flair's legacy each and every single week. The guy looks like more of a joke every single week you trot his old ass out there, right? And then you have Ric Flair, like, he's in shock, he's celebrating, so, they're just teasing, basically, that Ric Flair is the father, right? Per storyline, we know in real life that in reality, that's not true. And I'm just like, wait, what? And I would be ranting on this a lot more, but, I went to a couple of wrestling sources, and they were able to confirm that Lacey Evans in real life, right, outside of her character, she is actually 100% truly pregnant. She had told WWE the news, told WWE news earlier in the day, and they had decided to do that as the story, right? But still, here's my thing. Even if Lacey Evans was 100% pregnant, right? Even if she is truly pregnant in real life, why do we have to bring that into the storyline, though? Why? There's a million different things you could have done to get Lacey Evans off this storyline. You could have had her fake an injury, right? You could have do a medical crisis. There's so many different things you could have done here. Why would you even book the match? I can understand for a little bit, as bad as it is, because we talked about it last week. I made a prediction that it was most likely to be Lacey Evans versus Charlotte at Mania for the Raw Women's Championship. But, that's probably not happening now. She's like Lacey Evans versus Asuka. That's probably not happening now, right? Because you had Lacey call the match last night. She shouldn't be wrestling at all. She should be done. I don't know how long Lacey is. It's probably definitely very early. But remember, when Becky found out she was pregnant, right? Becky wrestled against Shayna Basler at Mania pregnant. That was her last match. She wrestled that match pregnant, which is still just crazy to think about. But, I don't know. I don't know, what you do now. Because now your Raw Women's division has been absolutely destroyed. I didn't care about Lacey Evans to begin with. You guys know this, right? But now Asuka has no opponent for Elimination Chamber Sunday, right? I would not be surprised if they do Charlotte versus Asuka. I would not be surprised at all, because Charlotte's gonna win that title eventually anyway. So I would not put it past WWE to just have Charlotte take the title from Asuka at the Elimination Chamber instead of saving it for Mania. Right? Spares the misery of having to see Asuka lose against Charlotte again at Mania. We already had to deal with it at WrestleMania 34. Let's not have to deal with it again. So you see, now that Lacey's pregnant, that takes her out of the storyline. But this is what WWE gets. I know things like this are unexpected, but I can't just not laugh at the situation, because this is what WWE gets. This is what you get. Your Raw Women's division is trash. You have nobody lined up to face Asuka, right? You've made Asuka's championship reign look like a joke. She's an afterthought, and sad thing is, she's your Raw Women's champion. You've lined up nobody to face her, right? And now you actually you try, and I put that in quotation marks, you try to have somebody built up to face Asuka and Lacey Evans, which no one gives a crap about, and then you get the pregnant card put out on you. And it's kind of funny because it seems like Asuka's always involved when it comes to these pregnant things, right? Last year with Becky Lynch and the Money in the Bank, Becky Lynch announcing that the Money in the Bank winner would actually become the new Raw Women's Champion because Becky was pregnant. And now here's this thing with Lacey Evans. It's a joke. It's sad. Congrats to Lacey Evans. I know she has a daughter, right? We all, I think her name is Summer. If you guys remember, they actually used her daughter in a little bit of storyline with Sasha Banks on SmackDown about a year and a half ago, which is actually pretty good, just because Sasha at that time was doing so well as a heel, right? But congrats to Lacey, right? Of course, go have your child. Congratulations. Being a mother, that's important, right? But I cannot sit here and not laugh. At least we can take Lacey Evans versus Charlotte off the table now for Mania. We don't have to think about that garbage anymore, right? I just feel like they could have done so much more from a storytelling standpoint. There was no reason why they had to bring that into the storyline. No reason at all. But I don't know what you do now. I don't know what you do now. With the Raw Women's Championship. This is what you get when your division is garbage. I will not be surprised if it's Charlotte versus Asuka at the Chamber on Sunday, right? I don't know. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if Lacey wasn't pregnant in real life, I would have ranched on this a lot more. But it just goes to show the biggest thing to take from all of this is what WWE gets for booking a trash Raw Women's division around one of the best female wrestlers in the world in Asuka. I don't know. I would, now that I think about it, why not have Alexa Bliss challenge Asuka again? Why not? They had two really good matches. Right, mainly because of the character that Alexa is playing right now is at its peak, right? But why not? Why not have Alexa Bliss versus Asuka at the Chamber, and then have Alexa become champion? Because you're not doing anything with Asuka. It's sad what they've done with her. I say it every single week. It's sad. I try to put Asuka in that chasing role and try to have Asuka find herself again. Because she's being absolutely wasted at this point, and she deserves so much better. So much better. Right? So I would honestly just do Alexa versus Asuka again at the Chamber. There's nobody else in that Raw Women's division. Naomi hasn't been built up properly. She's in a tag team with Lana, which is garbage, right? No one cares about Shayna Basler anymore. Nia Jax is legit trash, and there's nobody else on that roster. Nobody else. No, there's no Mandy Rose. There's no Dana Brooke. None of them. None of them deserve a shot. Right? This is one of the reasons why I was saying Rhea Ripley should have been put on Raw. Right? She's going to be on SmackDown with Sasha and Bianca and Bayley in the better division. But, Raw would need somebody like a Rhea Ripley right now. This would have been the perfect situation to put Rhea Ripley in. But, of course, WWE has no creativity, and they're just a bunch of dumbasses at the end of the day. It's that simple. And this is what they get. They deserve everything that they get. This is what happens when you don't take care of your Raw Women's division. You can say the same thing about the Tag Team division. This is what happened when you don't build up anybody and everybody gets 50-50 booking. Nobody is special. Sad. Congrats to Lacey Evans, but the bigger point here is we saw truly how garbage and how buried the Raw Women's division actually is. I know when Becky comes back, the rumors had to still be on SmackDown, but Becky, you're going to have to put Becky on Raw. You might actually have to. If Ronda doesn't come back, you're going to have to put Becky on Raw. You're going to have no choice. You're going to have no choice. Because this Raw Women's division is absolutely buried right now. It's never been this bad. Moving on, we had Alexa Bliss or Randy Orton, right? Randy Orton first cut a promo, talking about how he would win the Gauntlet match, whatever, right? Nothing special here. And, just your same old Randy Orton promo. And, after that, you had Alexa Bliss cut a promo. She was in this dark room with candles, and then there was like this weird star logo around her. She basically, she had contacts on as well. These great contacts would made her look a little more freaky, right? And she said that he will be reborn. Talking about The Fiend. We've heard a lot of rumors about The Fiend. They're most likely just trying to drag this out because that's most likely going to be Randy Orton's match at Mania. Orton versus The Fiend, right? And, it's going to be interesting to see how The Fiend is reborn. Is it going to be a new mask? Is it going to be a completely different character? What did we, they are teasing something different as I hit my mic. They're teasing something different here with The Fiend. And it'll be interesting to see how it's done. But Alexa cut another good promo here. I'll continue to say it. Alexa's been one of the only bright spots on Raw. And I think she deserves to be in that Raw Women's Championship discussion. If this was the Alexa Bliss from a couple years ago, the goddess, right? The goddess gimmick she did? Of course not. That gimmick was garbage. It was trash, right? But this Alexa Bliss, this has easily been the best work of her career. And I believe she deserves to be in that Raw Women's Championship discussion for the work she's doing right now. If anything, she should be the Raw Women's Champion, especially with how bad Asuka's been booked. Right? I know not everybody's going to agree with me on that, but if you look at the landscape of that division and you look at the body of work that Alexa is doing, man, she's constantly been the best thing on Raw each and every single week. Right? I think she should be in that championship discussion. It's just me being 100% honest here. And remember, a couple of years ago, I would never be saying this about Alexa Bliss. I would not even want her on my TV screen, right? So, it's like I said, you just gotta be honest. Anybody's capable of change, and we talked about it earlier, man. Gimmick changes. We talked about how Daniel Bryan turning into a heel, how good that was for his character, and how taking that break from being a babyface. When he eventually did turn back into a babyface about a year later, it worked out for the best, because it was like Daniel Bryan had been refreshed in a way, right? Alexa Bliss here. That change in character was the best thing for her career. She was doing nothing as the goddess. That gimmick was played out, and nobody wanted to see it anymore. You turn it into the Harley Quinn. You let her, become something new and unique, like with the Harley Quinn character. And now this is the best Alexa has ever been on the main roster. And I feel like nobody's going to argue with me on that one, right? So, that's my thoughts on that. But Alexa cut a really good promo here. Like I said, they're continuing to tease The Fiend's return, right? Will The Fiend return at the Elimination Chamber? And maybe he's the reason why Orton doesn't win the WWE Championship match? I don't know. At this point, we're just going to have to sit back and wait for The Fiend. He's going to come back eventually. It's just a matter of, when. When is he going to come back, right? But yeah, so that was it from Alexa. She cut that little good promo here, and that was all that we saw from her. Next up, we had Lana versus Shayna Basler. This was garbage. Honestly, man, I don't care about Lana and Naomi as a tag team. Naomi should be going after the Raw Women's Championship. If anything, Naomi, if you're not going to have her going after the Raw Women's Championship, trade her to SmackDown. Right? I don't know. Trade Rhea Ripley for Naomi whenever Rhea Ripley debuts. Or, trade, Bailey or something. Right? Trade one of those two for Naomi. Trade Naomi back to SmackDown. Have her turn heel and stand by her brothers in the Tribal Chief faction. That's what you should be doing. Because Naomi, she's too good to be in this horrific tag team with Lana of all people. All right? Because the tag team titles are a joke. You're making me more and more by the day want to see Sasha and Bianca win those titles just for them to do the John Cena HBK storyline. The more I see how bad this thing is with Lana and Naomi. And the thing about it is, this Lana storyline has been going on for months. Because remember, they did it before Lana got injured. This has been going on since, late October. Like, around Hell in a Cell time. Because remember, Lana did get injured for about a month and a half, and she came back at the Rumble. But they did it with Lana and Asuka. Lana got injured. Now they're doing it with Lana and Naomi. And it's garbage. It's atrocious. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see it. All right. And I don't know. If you like this, I think you're just mental. You need to get your head checked. But this was bad. There was nothing good to see here. Right? Nia, the whole my home, like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Nia assaulted Naomi at ringside, but Naomi sent Jackson to the ring post. Lana tried to roll with Basler for a near fall, but then Basler hit her with a knee strike and then put her in the Carrot clutch for the submission. Like I said, nothing to note here. This is bad. Nobody cares about it. Let's move on with our lives. Like I said, you're making me more and more want to see Sasha and Bianca take those titles from Basler and Jax. I have no desire to see Lana and Naomi as tag team champions. No desire whatsoever. And moving on into here, I'm going to go through this fast. The Gauntlet Match to end the show. Like I said, so Kofi Kingston, right? No rest for the Riri, right? Kofi Kingston, he was the first man in the Gauntlet Match. He was in there He was in there with AJ Styles. Styles cut a quick promo with Almas by his side, basically stating that he would ruin Kofi's hopes and dreams of having a Kofi Mania 2.0. And he would run through everybody and show how phenomenal he truly is, and then go on to win or regain the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber. Like I said, I don't know what you do with Styles at Mania. Every single week I'm thinking about it. You guys are just thinking about the Elimination Chamber. I'm thinking along ahead. That's the reason why I'm so good at what I do, right? What does Styles do at Mania? Do you have him go up against a Triple H? You haven't done anything to plant that storyline, right? When we had Seth Rollins versus Triple H, that was a storyline that was set up months and months in advance. There's nothing that's been done here to set up a Styles versus Triple H match. I don't know what you do with Styles at Mania. Right now, the only thing I think of is maybe you put him in the United States title picture, right? Maybe you have AJ. I don't know. Maybe you have AJ turn babyface and go after Bobby Lashley. Or maybe you have him face Keith Lee. If Keith Lee ends up winning that title and we get Lashley versus Lesnar. Like I said, I'm trying to build the best WrestleMania card possible, and that's really all I can think of. I can't think of anything else. I don't know. If you guys have anything better, let me know in the chat or in the comment section. But I don't know. I don't know what you do with Styles here going to WrestleMania. But getting into the Gauntlet match itself, basically Styles took out Kingston early with a phenomenal forearm. Kind of made sense. Kingston had a match earlier in the night anyway, so he was already far below 100%. So Styles got the win here. Then McIntyre, and I knew, here we go, right? Your WWE champion is going to get pinned. Because there was no way you're going to have McIntyre run through 5 other men, or 4 other men more specifically. You're not gonna have McIntyre go through all that, especially when there was still about 45 minutes left in the show, right? So I was like, here we go. You're gonna have McIntyre as the MVP of the Gauntlet match, but you're gonna have your WWE champion pinned. Like I always say, your champion should not be getting pinned. That would never happen back in the day with Stone Cold or The Rock or Triple H or Undertaker in the Attitude Era. But it's a joke. It's a joke these days. So, what happens here? McIntyre and Styles actually went on for a while. This went on for a good 15 minutes, right? So I was surprised. It went up past 10:30. So McIntyre hit Styles with a Claymore, which was actually, it was probably the best part of the Gauntlet match. Styles and McIntyre, they treated this like it was almost a WWE Championship match. They went at it. And you got to remember, Styles had just faced Kingston before that. So I will say this, the effort in the Gauntlet match was all the way there. That was great, right? But yeah, McIntyre gets rid of Styles with a Claymore kick. So then Jeff Hardy comes in. Hardy had the advantage going into the break. Basically, Hardy hit the twist of fate, went for the swanton. McIntyre got the knees up, delivered a Claymore kick, and got Hardy out of there. Like I said, Hardy shouldn't even be in this match to begin with. There was no way he was winning the Gauntlet match. We all knew that. So Randy Orton came out, rekindling his rivalry with McIntyre. Remember, we had just had this match last week on Raw in the main event. So we had a break, and we came back. Orton had the advantage on the outside, but all of a sudden, Alexa's entrance music started playing. The Thunderdome turned all dark, and all of a sudden, which had a really good visual, right? Alexa's face shows up on every single one of the screens. So it looked pretty cool, right? Alexa was just laughing. So this distracted Orton, and Orton actually got counted out. He got counted out here. And there was only about 10 minutes left in the show, so of course they had to rush it. So, Orton gets counted out. So every time Orton tries to move on to the Fiend, Alexa drags him back into it. So I kind of like that. They're trying to, drag this out as much as possible till the Fiend returns to get his revenge on Orton. Right? So then after that, Sheamus. And I knew it. Sheamus cut a promo earlier in the evening about how he was going to win the Gauntlet match. I knew it was either going to be him or McIntyre. It was either or, right? One of these two was going to win the Gauntlet match. And the second that McIntyre came out second, I was like, Sheamus is going to come out last, and they're going to have Sheamus beat McIntyre. And I already complained about it earlier in the show, right? You're giving away your potential WWE Championship match with Sheamus and McIntyre right here in the main event. And like I said, this was good for the last 10 minutes. Sheamus dominated McIntyre here. And then the referee, because McIntyre had taken so much punishment, but the ref goes to ask McIntyre, do you want to continue? And Sheamus is over here barking like, no, that son of a bitch is not going to quit no matter what. So, like, Sheamus knows McIntyre too well. Like, there's no point in asking him. He's going to keep fighting. So then McIntyre, he did get some offense here, right? He hit a headbutt. Then he hit Sheamus with a Future Shock DDT. Then an overhead suplex. But then when he went for the Claymore kick, Sheamus countered with a bro kick of his own and then got the win. So Sheamus, then took a microphone and said, hey, fella, you should have gave me my one-on-one match that I asked for, right? But now I'm the odds-on favorite to win. And at WrestleMania, or not at WrestleMania, at the Elimination Chamber, I'm going to win the WWE Championship. And I believe him. I think Sheamus is going to win the WWE Championship this Sunday at Elimination Chamber to set up the match with McIntyre at Mania. Because I think they're going to give McIntyre his big title victory, right? The win that he didn't get in front of the fans last year at Mania this year. Even though it's not going to be a full Raymond James Stadium, it's still going to be, 25,000 people? So that's still a lot. So McIntyre's going to get that win, that he's wanted, or that he deserved last year, right? So, like I said, Sheamus is my pick to win the Elimination Chamber match, right? If McIntyre retains, I wouldn't be surprised, but right now I'm going with Sheamus to win the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber, and then McIntyre to regain the title at Mania in front of fans, to make up for what he didn't get last year with Brock Lesnar. So that's about all for Monday Night Raw tonight. This was not a good show. Not a good show. I don't care how good the Gauntlet match was. I don't care how good some of the in-ring action was. All these logic gaps, your Raw Women's division is garbage. You don't even have a tag team division at this point, right? The only thing that I enjoyed about the show was Alexa Bliss's promo, if we're being truly honest with ourselves. This show is not good. The direction going to WrestleMania, especially on the Monday Night Raw side of things, is bad. And the Elimination Chamber in general has not been booked properly. It has not been booked properly. And this could all been avoided if you had just gone with Edge versus McIntyre. It truly is. And I don't know that he was going to realize. Maybe they do realize that, and they're just too stubborn, too stuck in their own ways to do what's right. But I'll continue to do my thing over here, educating you dumb casuals that think the show is actually good. The show was not good. It was trash, and it is what it is. It is what it is, right? Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on the Legit Shoot podcast. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, hit that like button. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel by hitting the red button and the bell right next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video, right? Go check out the SmackDown review that is live on the channel. We'll have a SmackDown review this weekend, and then we'll have the Elimination Chamber review either Sunday night or Monday morning. Make sure you guys follow me on social media so you guys are updated on all of that good stuff. Last but not least, I want to say thank you to JDE, right? A loyal subscriber. He made the SmackDown layout that you guys saw last week, and he also made this fire Raw layout. He'll be doing all the layouts for us going forward. I want to thank him for his support, and like this shit looks awesome. All right, and so make sure you guys follow him, JDE, down on Twitter. Not JD from NY, it's JDE. So JDE. Right? But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today, man. I'll see you guys later. Stay safe, stay healthy, y'all. Yeah, also, check out my Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair video and why Sasha has to retain at Mania, right? Make sure to check that out. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys later, man. Stay safe, stay healthy, y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.